Hello everybody, this is Marthering Hedgehog with my January 2015 book haul, the first book haul of the year. So exciting. I in total have hauled 20, either 20 or 23 books. I think it's 23. I did deviate from how many I was planning on buying, but that's alright because it's fun to do unplanned buys sometimes. So I will just jump into this with the book that was given to me. And that is Grantchester by James Runcie. I was given this to review. This is a new historical mystery book. Actually, there is a BBC miniseries based off this book, and I actually just recently started watching it, so I'm really excited to read the book along with it. And I actually probably going to get to this really soon because I just really enjoy what I've seen of the show so far, so really looking forward to delving into the book. So the next set of books I'm going to show you are the new releases of January that I bought, and then I'll get into the ones I just bought that aren't used. They're new, but they weren't released this month. But yeah, we will get into January's releases first. First up is Firefight by Brandon Sanderson. This is the second book in the Reckoners trilogy. This came out January 6th, and I have read it already, and it is amazing. And I will get more into it with my wrap-up, and obviously you can always go read my review. I'll have the link for it on my wrap-up video. But this was amazing. I mean, just incredible. And probably my most anticipated release of January, and definitely the best read of January. Okay, actually I have one that's rivaled it. After that, I bought The Case of the Missing Moonstone by Jordan Stratford, art by Kelly Murphy. Sorry, I thought that was the second author. No, just written by Jordan Stratford. This is the first book in the Wollstonecraft Detective Agency series. This is, I believe, middle grade. This also came out January 6th, and I don't really know what it's about, other than it follows these two girls. They're kind of opposites, and then they end up being, but they're best friends, and they kind of start this detective agency thing and investigate mysteries, and it sounded really good and really cute, so I got it. And I also bought Golden Sun by Pierce Brown, the second book in the Red Rising trilogy. This also came out January 6th. I actually haven't read Red Rising yet, but I do own it, and so I got Golden Sun. I've been hearing nothing but good things about this series. I think it's technically adult, but it's also one of those that kind of crosses between adult and young adult, and it's dystopian, and I've heard tell that it's the best dystopian series that has been released recently. And that is kind of the modern, it is the 21st century's 1984. I don't know how true that is, but I can't wait to read this series. Then I also bought Alistair Grimm's Auditorium by Gregory Finero. This was actually a whim buy, even though this did come out January 6th. It was a whim buy. I was at Barnes & Noble and looking at the middle grade books, and this was there, and it looked really good. And the illustrations are really awesome, and I don't really know what's about other than a chimney sweep who ends up working for Alistair Grimm, and strange things start happening. Typical stuff. After that, I bought The Prey by Tom Isbell. This came out January 20th, and is the first book, and I believe it's called the Hatchery trilogy. And I don't know too much about it other than it takes place in the future, and I think there's been like this disease that's wiped out a bunch of people. Well, no, there's just been a revolution, and can't think of any words tonight. Martial law has been declared, and teens are like being hunted or something like that. So it sounded really cool, really interesting. Cannot wait to read it. Plus the cover is just awesome. Then I bought Tunnel Vision by Susan Adrian. This also came out January 20th. Another YA book. Whim buy. This was on my list, but didn't actually was on my list to buy until December when I first found out about it. Don't really know what it's about other than this kid has some ability that the government ends up hiring him to use, and if he doesn't comply, then he will, his family's threatened and all that. So, awesome stuff, and I actually don't like this cover. The cover's really, really boring, but the story sounds really good. And of course, what would a January book haul be without Fairest by Marissa Meyer? This came out January 27th, and it is a prequel for the Lunar Chronicles. It tells the story of Queen Lavanna, and this is so being read in February. I cannot wait to pick it up. Just look at this for a second. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? I've been hearing really, really good things about this from people who have already read it, and I can't wait. And I can't believe how short it is. I was expecting it to be longer, but I'm not complaining. After that, I bought The Spider Ring by Andrew Harwell. This also came out January 27. I believe it's middle grade, and follows this girl who inherits this spider ring that's been in her family for ages and ages, gives her powers over spiders, and there is a arch enemy that is collecting all the spider rings that exist so she can control spiders or something like that. Sounded fun. So those are actually all the January new releases I bought. I thought I had more. So I will just get into the regular buys that I bought for no reason. First up, I have Hidden by Donna Jo Napoli. This actually came out December 30th, but I didn't get it in time to include on my December book haul. So it's part of this book haul. This, I think, is just a retelling of an Irish fairy tale. It sounded really good, and I love Donna Jo Napoli. I don't have to know much about her books in order to buy them. I will buy anything that she writes. She's just one of my favorites. Then I bought Ignite by Sarah B. Larson. This is the second book in the Defy trilogy. This also came out December 30th, actually. For those of you who have not read my review for Defy, that was one book I read last year that I ended up giving 2 strawberries because, quite honestly, it's not that great of a series. The romance is annoying. The world building could be better than it is. It's a little scattered. But strangely enough, I really, really like the book. It's kind of a guilty pleasures read. So I got Ignite because I want to know what happens next. And I just love these covers. I know a lot of people complain they're too much like the covers of Graceling, but I like them still. I like Graceling's covers too. Then I was kind of on a strange, I want to buy a bunch of contemporary novels for when the summer comes mood, and I was at Barnes & Noble, so I bought some contemporary, and one of them I got was Since You've Been Gone by Morgan Matson. I know that there were a lot of booktubers talking about this book last year. I'm kind of slow on joining in. This will be my first Morgan Matson book. Really looking forward to delving into it. It just sounded, I don't know, I just get the feeling that I'm going to be in the mood for a book like this very soon. With summer coming and all that. Then I bought Survival Colony 9 by Joshua David Bellin. I've been eyeing this one for the last few months. The synopsis I read on Goodreads did not capture my attention. But then I was at Barnes & Noble and I was looking through the synopsis, the cover, and just, it caught my interest. So it says, Survival Colony 9, the only home I can remember. I just wish I could remember how I got here, or who I am. So yeah, I've been eyeing this for the last few times I've been at Barnes & Noble, and finally I was like, you know what, I'm going to get it, because every time I've eyed a book for a while, but put off getting it, once I do read it, I've always really liked them, so I got that one. Then I also got Let's Get Lost by, I'm sorry if I butcher this name, Adi Elised. This is a road trip fiction novel, and while I did not like All the Bright Places by Jennifer Niven, I read that this month, and it really depressed me. It did make me really, really want to start reading road trip fiction, so I got this because it sounded really good, and it was at Barnes & Noble. I'm ordering Amy and Roger's Epic Detour because I've heard that is like the road trip novel to start with, so I am going to get that one in soon, hopefully. And continuing with my just wanting to buy some fun stuff, I bought Hortons Miraculous Mechanisms and Hortons Incredible Illusions, both by Lisa Evans. This is a duology, middle grade duology that has been on my list forever, and I just love the size of these books. They're adorable, they're cute, and I've been eyeing them for a long time, so I went ahead and got them, and I can't wait to read those. Those should be fun. Then I finally bought Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs, the first book in the Miss Peregrine series, or is it a trilogy? I think it's going to be more than 3 books. I have the second book, Hollow City. I didn't get around to reading it when it came out because I forgot everything that happened in this one. But this was my book club's pick for January, so I bought it. And now I've refreshed my memory, and now I can head into Hollow City. Very exciting. Then I bought Stitching Snow by R.C. Lewis. This is a fairy tale retelling that takes place in space and is a bit reminiscent of the Lunar Chronicles from what I understand. I bought it because I was curious and I love this cover. Unfortunately, since I bought it, I've been looking at reviews and it hasn't been getting that great of ratings. So we'll see how I like it. I'm dubious. I was dubious actually when I bought it, but I was willing to give it a shot. Then I bought The Wolf Princess by Catherine Constable. This is another middle grade book. It's published by Chicken House, and I love Chicken House as a publisher, so I try to buy their books whenever I can. And this is just kind of a fairy tale princess story thing. It takes place in Russia. That sounded really cool and has been on my list for a while. Let's see if I can grab all of these books. Then I bought Skeleton Creek by Patrick Carman, the first book in the Skeleton Creek series. This is another middle grade series. And this was totally on a whim buy. I didn't know this existed, but I was browsing. A friend and I were browsing books at Barnes & Noble, and she pulled this out, and she's like, have you heard anything about this? And I read the back of it, and I just, look at this. I was totally captured by the packaging. Yeah, packaging sells me on a book. So I decided to get it because it sounded really cool and interesting. Mostly it looked cool and interesting, so I got it. Then I got Prisoner B3087, don't fall over, by Ellen Gratz. This is young adult and is actually based on a true story about a young Polish Jewish kid during World War II, obviously, and his survival through concentration camps. And I can't resist his World War II fiction, especially if it's based on a true story, so that was like a no-duh. And then finally, I bought Unbroken by Lauren Hillenbrand. This is the young adult version, which essentially means it has photographs and illustrations inside it, and a lot of the language has been cut out. It's sad. I'm more likely to read this than the adult version, because it's a little shorter and it's got pictures. I like pictures. I mean, I can read books that don't have pictures in them, but if there's illustrations or photographs or whatever, I tend to enjoy a novel more that way. So I got this because the story does sound very, very interesting, and I would like to read this before I go see the movie, which hopefully I'll be doing fairly soon before it goes out of theaters. So yes, I bought this. So those are all the books I bought in January. I will be seeing you guys with my January wrap-up and February TBR. And hopefully the lighting on this video is way, way better than my previous ones. I've been experimenting, and let's hope this works. So yeah, I will see you with my next video, and I hope you are all having a marvelous January and that 2015 continues to treat you well. Bye.